In this video, I'm going to go over these key tools and the stats. So I'm going to grab the ball controller curve, and I've already put some animation on the TY. And now I'm going to select this key tool on the left, which is Move Nearest Picked Key tool. And with that tool active, I can select things like normal down here. But the difference is, now that these keys are selected, I can move them just by middle clicking and holding when I'm close to a key. So I'm going to middle click and drag around, and it's only moving the key that I'm nearest to. It's not moving the whole curve like it normally would. So I can go close to this key now and move that one around, close to this one, move that one. And it works best when the up and down, left and right arrow is active over here in this tool, because then you can move it up and down, left and right, and you can also go close to the tangents and then move the tangents around just by being close to them. And now I'm going to delete these two keys and go into the Insert Keys tool. So with that tool active, I can select things like normal. Then if I middle click and hold, I get a vertical line that follows my cursor around. And where that vertical line intersects the selected curve, there's this black dot that's appearing on the curve. Then if I let go of the middle mouse button, it drops a key right there. So middle click and hold, find where you want to drop your key, let go of the middle mouse button, then drop your key. And if you do that beyond the farthest key in time, then it'll still drop a key, but it drops it at the same value of the last key that was already there. And even if you just have one key selected, then the tool knows to associate with that curve. And you can also select multiple curves at the same time and drop a key onto multiple curves. And another cool thing about this tool is that if you adjust your tangent handles to change the flow of your curve, then if you just go over here to the channel box, it's going to drop a key, but it applies the default tangent type, which in this case is auto. But if you didn't want to lose the flow of that curve that you had, you could use this tool to drop a key, and it drops a key in the same spot, but it has the tangent handle adjusted that will maintain the flow of that curve for you. And this tool is kind of similar, the Add Keys tool, and you activate the curves the same way. You can have one key on a curve selected or multiple curves, and once you've done that, then you can just middle click and it drops a key exactly where your cursor is, or you can middle click and hold and it drops a key, but then you're still holding on to the key and you can drag it around and put it where you want it. And that's what that tool does. This tool, the Lattice Deform Keys tool, puts the selected keys into a lattice. Then you can drag these lattice points around, and that affects the position of the keys. And you can also drag the edges around, does the same thing. And if you double click on the tool, then you get the options. And right now I have 3 columns and 3 rows, so I have 3 columns, 3 rows. If I change it to 2, then I have 2 of each. And now there's a greater fall off, so the points over here on the lattice have more effect on the keys farther away from it over here. So now I'm going to drag this around and I'll pull it up and down, and that's actually what I like to use this tool for the most, is when I have kind of an up and down stagger and I want to keep that, but I want it to slant in a direction. Then I can put it into a lattice, pull it around, and now it's sloping, which is cool. And now I'll undo that and go into the region tool. And this tool, when you select keys, then it puts the keys into a region, and you get these handles on the side that you can drag around to scale it in whichever direction you want. And you can also middle click inside of it and then drag the region around with the keys in it. And I'm done with these now, so I'm just going to go back into my standard move tool. And now I'm going to cover the stats. And the stats give information about the keys. So if I have this key selected, it tells me the frame that it's on and the exact value of the key. And I can change the value here. So right now it's at 1.222. If I change it to a value of 2, then you can see that the key jumps up to a value of 2. And with multiple keys selected, the stats that are displayed here are just taken from any one of the keys. But what you can do with it then is apply a value to all of the keys. So if I press 3 and enter that, then all of the keys that were selected take on a value of 3. And you can also adjust the value of the keys through the stats by adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So I'm going to select one key, and I'll type in plus equals 1, and that's going to add a value of 1. So I'll press enter, and it adds a value of 1. It went from 3 to 4. Same thing works with subtraction. You could say minus equals I'll say 2, so it's at a value of 3 right now. It's going to lose 2, go down to a value of 1. And you can multiply by typing in the asterisk, times equals, I'll say 0.5, and it adjusted each thing, multiplied it by 0.5. So the 1 times 0.5 is 0.5, the 4 times 0.5 is 2. And you can do the same thing with division by typing in slash equals whatever you want. And the stats on the right is the value of your keys, stats on the left is time. So if you want to adjust the time of your keys, you can do the same thing. So select this key, it's a frame 19. I'll say plus equals 2, and it bumps it over 2, and now it's at 21. And you can do the same thing with subtraction, multiplication, or division. So now I'll select all these keys, and I will scale it by value of 2, and I'll press enter, and it got scaled by 2. So that's how the stats work, and that's everything for this video.